and welcome to my channel. My name is Giselle, and in today's video we will be talking about living books. As moms, we know the importance of reading to our little ones and surrounding them with books. But are all books created that as time passes and we read more and more to our little ones, we will come to the conclusion they are not. And if you are a homeschooling mama, you have most likely come across the term living books. But what are living books? So the term living books was first introduced by a British educator who made great contributions to children's education. Her name was Charlotte Mason, and her principles and methods are still applied today in so many homes. And so I want to share a quote from her that says, "Children must have books, living books. The best is not too good for them. Anything less than the best is not good enough." And so living books are basically high quality books. These are books with beautiful illustrations and beautiful language. And she also spoke of twaddle books, which is the opposite of living books. And these are books that are dumbed down and they usually contain silly or idle talk. And so basically these are books that are not high quality. Even as a new mom, I remember there were certain habits that I wanted to apply as a mom to use with my little one. I wanted to treat her with respect, and I wanted to talk to her not as a little baby, but I always wanted to use higher level words and vocabulary. And I wanted to expose her to high quality materials, whether it be TV shows, which of course she doesn't watch a lot of TV, but if it was music or books, I was very conscious that I wanted it to be high quality. And I think this was just intuitive. Like deep down, I knew that I had to be aware of her capabilities and that she is a smart, intelligent human being. And there is no reason for me to talk down to her or to surround her with things that are not high quality. And so, as a homeschooling mom, I have been reading so much, studying different educational philosophies and methods because I want to find myself as a homeschooling mom. And so I came across the Charlotte Mason philosophy and I absolutely love it. I knew early on that I wanted to pursue classical education, and so when I learned of her work, I knew that I could learn so much from her. And I knew that I wanted our schooling to be based on literature because I love books and I love reading, and so I wanted to instill that in my little one. And I truly believe it is essential to education as a whole. And so for me, books and just surrounding her with good literature is just so important. And so the more that I learn, I have discovered the importance of living books. And I wanted to share that with you so that it is easier for you to identify those books and so that you may bring in those good books and stories into your home. Because, as Charlotte Mason said, our job is to spread a delicate and abundant feast. And what that means is that basically what we give to them, that is what they're going to consume. And we can think of it in terms of physical health. For example, if we give them good, healthy food, we know that that is going to contribute to their well-being physically. And so the same is with literature. The more good books and ideas that we surround them with, that is what they're going to consume, and that is going to make up their education. And of course, we want it to be high quality and we want it to be more than knowledge, but for it to be a love of learning, and not only that, but for it to have the power to influence them in positive ways that honor God and that inspire kindness and just good qualities and virtue. And so in researching more about living books, I have actually come across different definitions that are all very similar and basically have the same effect, but it seems to me that there are different words to describe it. And so I'm going to do my best to list some of the qualities that I believe are present in living books. But I think that at the end of the day, it just means high quality books, and a good way to know if a story or a book is high quality is to see if we enjoy it, if we take something from it, if it is beautiful to us, then I think that's a great way to know if a book is a living book. But now I will say the qualities that I believe and have learned from the research that I have done that will help us identify living books. The first is that it is interesting and enjoyable to read. There are so many books for little ones that even the pictures are just low quality and the language is so simple, and this and there is probably no plot to the story, and it's just randomness, and there is nothing deeper than that. It's just simple words, simple actions that probably don't even have a story, or there is no plot to the story. And so we know that that is not enjoyable, it's not interesting to us. But we need to look for books that will capture the imagination and that will create in them a love of learning, because the experience will be positive and memorable for them. And so basically just books that we enjoy and that are beautiful to us. Stories that are interesting to read, that are just so lovely and interesting. So the second quality is that they are familiar in some way, that children can relate to them and make connections. For example, characters that are realistic or that have realistic feelings or reactions to events that they can identify with and say, that's true, that happened to me once, or I feel like that too, or I know what it is to feel sad that in that way, or I know what it is to feel excited or nervous in that way, or even events that they can connect to, and that is so important that those stories are familiar in some way. And the third quality is that they have beautiful language. So language that is just beautiful to listen to, words that we should be using and that they should be learning. So higher level words, language that flows so beautifully and have the power to convey those ideas that we want to present to our little ones. That is also very important to have in a book. And the fourth is that they will contain beautiful illustrations. A lot of times we will see those books that have more like cartoonish illustrations, too many bright colors, and those are not the books we're looking for, but we're looking for books that have beautiful artistic illustrations that children can appreciate. And again, I think that if we can appreciate the illustrations in a book, then they will too. If it is something that we appreciate and consider high quality, that also points to a living book. And so last of all, living books contain wisdom or truth and about virtue, about kindness and love and patience and all those things, all those principles that we want to instill in our little ones. It contains something that will lift them up, that will build them up, and will help them as they are learning and growing, and will enrich their lives in some way. So these are the qualities that I think should be present when we are looking for good books for our little ones. So if you are building your home library for your family, I think it is good to know what is a good book, what is a living book, so that we can choose wisely and surround our little ones with good literature. And so that is all that I wanted to share with you today. I love talking about books. I hope that this video helped. In case you are wondering what living books are, I know that as homeschool moms, we are exposed to so much terminology, and sometimes we don't know what it all means, but it is so helpful because in learning those terms, we are also equipping ourselves for this beautiful job that we are doing in educating our little ones. And so I want to thank you for watching. I hope that it was helpful in some way, and I welcome you to join this channel, this beautiful community. And I just wanted to remind you that if you haven't done so, to please subscribe. It means so much to me, and I am so thankful for each subscriber. And so that is it for today's video, but I hope to see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.